What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Premier MMA Insider. I'm Rob Turtle, and it's fight week, finally, as we're about to get into Premier MMA 16 this Saturday night at the Hit Sports Complex in Covington, Kentucky. This event is sold out, but you can watch it live on pay-per-view on combatsportsnow.com. I've been interviewing guys going into this event. I'm super excited about it. And today I got a guest for you guys. He's going to be fighting Brandon Doyle in the men's featherweight division on Saturday night. He's a very impressive up-and-coming fighter I've been looking forward to talking to. Guys, please help me in welcoming Jake Halsey to the show. Jake, welcome to the program.
What's going on, man? It's fight week.
Indeed it is. And as exciting as it is for me, it must be kind of grueling for you getting through this week, cutting weight and things like that. How's camp going?
Oh, camp's going great. This is the easy part. Getting a fight week after you're here, you're just, like I said, you're worried about the weight a little bit, but the weight cut's going good. And it's just about chilling and feeling good and getting ready for Saturday.
Awesome. I want to get to know you a little bit. I know you're out of JG, a very prestigious gym with a lot of history in combat sports. How'd you get started over there, and how's your experience been under David Reeves and George Gurgel?
Well, they're both the best. I love them to death. They're big, role models in my life. But I got started. I got hurt playing soccer in high school. And I was doing some of my rehab over at the power station in Middletown where the school used to be. And got done with soccer season, and I was like, man, I need something to do. And George's was right next door. So I went over to the academy. It's like, hey, I want to try, this out. And, I thought I was some tough kid and went in there and was getting my butt handed to me. And I was like, man, I'm not as good as I thought I was. So I just stuck to it, and I fell in love with it, and I've been doing it nonstop ever since.
How long ago was that you walked next door?
I was either 16 or 17, and I'll be 24 next month.
I seen you made your amateur debut. All of your fights have been with Premier MMA Championship, and you made your amateur debut in 2017. And you've been impressive every time I've seen you step in the cage. How has that experience been like, getting into combat sports, that first fight under the lights and in front of the crowd? How was that experience for you?
Well, it was something growing up. I was like, man, I loved watching UFC. Obviously, I knew of the George Gurgel Academy. Almost idolized everyone that ever done that. So once I started doing it, I started doing jiu-jitsu. Did my first competition within 2 weeks of trying it. Muay Thai, all that kind of stuff. And I had a fight scheduled before that debut, and I was getting ready. It was going to be for Premier. My grandfather came down with leukemia, so I canceled that, and I got to spend some good time with him. But once I got in there, man, I felt like I was at home. You know what I mean? I appreciate you saying I'm impressive. I like to think I'm pretty good at what I do. But growing up, I was always a good athlete. On the field, I always played team sports, soccer, baseball, stuff like that. I was never the best guy, though. You know what I mean? I was always, if you have 11 guys on the field, I'm your number 4 or 5 guy. But I came into this, and I've never had something that clicked, right? I always had to work super hard to be good at baseball or soccer, whatever the sport was. But I came in here, and it felt like I've been doing it my whole life.
And in martial arts, it's all you. When you compete, it's you and another guy. It's kind of the truest form of athleticism, of sportsmanship, of everything. It's why I love combat sports.
So. Yeah, of competition, right? So if you lose in a team sport, inherently you can always point it to someone else. He should have done this or he should have done that, just like someone else is going to do to you. Just like when you win, you know what I mean? I love team sports. I love, some of my best friends I still talk to every day are from, high school sports. But when you're fighting, when you lose, it's on you. You know what I mean? That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's on you. But when you win, all that glory is yours.
Indeed. And you have been impressive every time I've seen you compete. You're a 2-1 amateur fighter, and even in your one loss, I found you to be impressive. It was, it was a decision loss. I just actually rewatched that fight last night, and man, it was a super fast-paced fight against a really, really tough opponent, and I just remember the first round of that fight. You guys were just slinging for the fences, and for an amateur competitor to keep up a pace like that, and we were continuously talking on the commentary about how amateur fighters at that level, at your level, like 10 years ago, because we've been doing this for a long time, like 10 years ago, weren't using the techniques that we were seeing amateur fighters use today. And in your last fight, I know it was a disappointing loss, coming up short in the decision. Nobody likes that, but it was still a very impressive amateur performance. And I'm sure it was a learning experience for you. Give me your thoughts on that one loss.
Yeah, man, that was Tamaris Gibson. He's a good dude. We kind of like comment on each other's stuff every once in a while, and there's a level of respect that you have with someone after you kind of go to war with them like that. Yeah, I mean, it was just a good, hard fight. That there's no other way to describe it. You know what I mean? A couple times you had to bite down your mouthpiece and just take one to give one. He has very good slick striking. He was hard to keep down. He was extremely strong. And then that was also, and I, by no means am I making any kind of excuses whatsoever. That was, Tamaris beat me that night. But that was one of the hardest camps I've ever gone through. And I've taken stuff from that camp and have not made the same mistakes this camp. And that's what an amateur career is about, right? Is going out and trying new things and seeing what works for you.
And so now you got this fight coming up this Saturday night against Doyle, another tough opponent. You say camp's going well and things like this. What can we expect to see out of you on Saturday night against Doyle? Because whenever I see a guy as talented as you coming off a loss, I'm always excited to see that fight because I think you must be more hungrier than ever. Like, I don't want to be the guy standing across the cage from you. Doyle is the same way. This win on Saturday night means a lot to him as well. So it makes for a very exciting matchup. Give me your thoughts on Saturday's matchup.
Yeah, man. From everything I can tell, he comes from a very reputable gym down in Virginia, Fairfax area. That's where David, Professor Reeves, is from. So he's familiar with the gym. Has nothing but good things to say about him. Seems like he's got a pretty extensive wrestling background, but that's cool with me. I'm good off my back, so if it does get to the ground, we'll see what happens. But I see myself keeping him at range and just kind of fighting my fight. When we train, yes, we'll look at opponents and like kind of what they're good at, but for the most part, I just focus on me and going there and fight my best fight because I train with killers every day, all different kinds of styles. And when I come in every day for sparring, I don't look at, okay, what's he doing or what's he doing? I'm focused on me, and that's how I end up fighting my best.
I've been talking to every fighter that I've had on the podcast about this. About the pandemic that we've all had to deal with in 2020. You had your last fight. I believe that event was like the end of the summer in 2019, because I remember it was hot as hell at that event.
Yeah, it was.
And so, you have that, and then you take that time off then around January, February, where you were probably about ready to, want to fight again.
Yep.
the world gets hit with this pandemic, and gyms are getting shut down. I've said it a few times on this podcast that for us involved in combat sports, whether you're a fighter or a gym owner or a promoter, everything was changed for us. It was all a waiting game.
Yep.
How was that experience for you? With the guys there at JG, what'd you do with the downtime? And, as an athlete, not being able to compete, how did that affect you?
So we didn't have downtime. We found our way to get our training in, whether it was at home, building garage gyms. We stayed
I've been
busy.
hearing that a lot about the garage gyms.
Yeah. You just gotta find a way, right? And then as far as the pandemic goes, man, I'm blessed enough to have a job where I was able to work throughout. So I stayed busy at work, and truly, I know the pandemic has changed a lot for a lot of people. My life didn't change all that much, other than just the way we go about everyday life, wearing masks, stuff like that. But I was still going to work every day, and I was still getting my training in, and I was blessed to help me stay sane throughout this whole thing. But yeah, man, I've had a couple of fights canceled throughout the pandemic just because of it, right? So they're like, okay, we're gonna do this fight. So I'm like, cool, sign up for the fight, start getting ready, and then they're like, well, never mind. And it is what it is.
Yeah, I think we actually canceled an event in November, and the reason we have all of these rules and things that we had to go by, and you book these things out months in advance. As you usually take fights sometime in advance, but then you got to look at things a few weeks out and evaluate things like COVID restrictions and things like that. So what is it that you said you were able to work throughout the pandemic? What do you do for a living?
I'm in law enforcement.
And I actually knew that, but I was I was kind of opening up. So what did your life as a police officer change during the pandemic? I mean, I would think that would be kind of strange time for a person in law enforcement.
Yeah. So we had some rules and regulations change, some policy of how we handle things. For example, we have lots of nursing homes, in our area and in my jurisdiction where I work, and trying to stay away from there unless we really need to go there. It was just weird, right? So like when the pandemic first hit, it was almost like it was a holiday every day. Typically on holidays, like you can be driving around, down the road at 3 in the afternoon, and there's just like no one out. And then after a couple of months, people started getting a little irritable, and things started, kind of piling on a little bit more. But it's all settled down now, and everyone, I think, has just gotten used to it.
Yeah, well, I have all the respect in the world for you, man, because it's been the weirdest year of my life, and I can only imagine how how that is, for somebody in your line of work. Are your fellow officers supportive of you being a cage fighter?
You
catch a lot of stuff for that.
No, I mean, it's awesome. My department's actually used me to help with defensive tactics, like in training, so like in actual training, and our administration is also before the pandemic hit, and we're trying to work to do it again, where I was teaching basically free classes for anyone who wanted to do it. We couldn't mandate it, right? But people who come in after work just bring in some gym clothes, and we have a mat room at our office, and we'd all start learning jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. And people are actually using it, when they have to, and you get into a scrap out at work. Unfortunately, it's a part of the job, but they're all about it. And then, I mean, I have my last fight. I had a lot of people, sergeants, majors, lieutenants, and then obviously all my, fellow guys come out same this time, and that means a lot. Not only are they coming out to support me, but this job, it's a 24/7, 365 kind of job, right? So and we don't get Saturday nights off. So these guys are taking time, like vacation time, right?
Right.
Personal time off that they could be spending with their family to come out and support me. So yeah, it means a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, so yeah, this is a big fight coming up, and you're still kind of early in your amateur career. So a lot of times when I interview young amateur fighters, uh, there's some guys that can have one fight under the belt and they already have aspirations to be Conor McGregor, by the end of the year. Uh, but it seems that you already have a career established in law enforcement. You seem to have a love for competition. You're training, as I said, in a very prestigious gym with great guys. So, what is your motivation to be a martial artist, or do you have aspirations down the road to be a professional fighter as well?
No, I I will be a professional fighter. There's no doubt about it. But my motivation is to be martial artist. So yes to both answers, I guess. Right. I do this for me. My job outside of this, I service other people. I have, an amazing, beautiful wife at home. I try to cater to her as much as I can. But when I'm in here, obviously I teach and I give it forward, right? The knowledge I have, I give to new students that come in. But when fight camp hits, it's about me. It's about competition. And just like you said, it's the purest form of competition. It's me and one other guy. And it's about testing myself to see how good am I, right? Am I good as I think I am? But I will continue to fight just because I love fighting. I don't need to do it. I have a great career where I'm at. Um, I've always told people that I will stop fighting either A, when I stop enjoying it, which I don't see happening anytime soon, or B, when my wife and I decide to have children. That's also a couple years away. But this game, if you're gonna do it right, it just takes way too much time. And when I make that transition into that new chapter of my life, then I will hang this up, and then I can just train for the love of
Right,
martial arts.
right. And that's the way to go, man. Very, very good answer. I love hearing that. And I just want to take a moment to say what's up to all the guys out there at JG. I know you guys are watching this in support of Halsey. I've always been a fan of the guys out there. George Gurgel is a great dude. I love
Yep.
that dude. And they have always put fighters on the fight cards and the promotions that Billy and I have been affiliated with over the years, and I have nothing but respect. Killers come out of that gym, and athletes, not just fighters, but athletes come out of JG, and always very impressive guys. So I wanted to take a moment to because I don't get those opportunities much to say thank you to you and everybody out at JG for supporting Premier MMA Championship and competing on our fight cards. I want to give you a moment now to take the floor, Jake, and I know you got some people that you want to thank, maybe some people that you want to acknowledge, and if you have any words for Brandon Doyle before your fight on Saturday night, now's your time, my friend.
Okay. Yeah. So as far as words for Brandon Doyle, I, I'm not a guy that's going to go out and talk a bunch of crap. That's just not me. I think he has a daughter. Seems like a good family guy, and he's also a competitor. So I look forward to meeting him and competing against him, and that is what it is. So all best to him and his family. As far as what I'm going to say to others here, man, I have such a good support system with my parents. Chris and Laura, my brother, my sister, Skylar and Reagan, my wife, Hannah. They're always lifting me up, especially, camps get hard, especially with the job I work and overtime and getting forced and all the kind of bad stuff you see at work. This is like an escape, and they're always there for me. And then when I'm at the gym, it's like my escape away from anything else, man. I have the greatest coaches and training partners. There's too many to name, but you got George and Fluffy, Davey, Jake Nicholson, Brenton Petrie, Sam Benton, Justin Edwards. The list goes on and on. Tyler Frazier. I can't thank these guys enough for all the work they put into me, because they don't have to, right? Just like I was talking about the guys at the sheriff's office who take time off just to come support me. These guys in here will come, with every expectation to train for themselves. And then they know I have a fight coming up, so they disregard what they're doing to help me out. And I just can't appreciate it enough.
I am legit excited for your fight on Saturday night. I'm not just blowing smoke when I say you're impressive, but now that I've spoke to you, I don't know how you do it. I tried to juggle my schedule, and then I look at a guy like you with all of the things that you're doing in that makes it even more impressive. I want to thank you for taking the time to come on the podcast with me today and talk about your upcoming fight. I can't wait to see you on Saturday, and best of luck to you there in the cage, my friend.
Sir, I appreciate it.
All right, we'll talk to you. We'll see you on Saturday, Justin.
All right,
thank you.
Have a good one.
Jake Halsey, ladies and gentlemen, and as I said, a very impressive fighter. If you can go to the Premier MMA YouTube page and see his previous performances in the cage. Very exciting fighter, and you can check him out live on Saturday night on Combat Sports Now, as he'll be facing Brandon Doyle and in a featherweight division. I'm really looking forward to that fight. I want to take some time to talk about some of the other fights that are on the fight card too, because I can't get every fighter on the fight card, but I am going to do some more interviews later on this week. As you guys know, I had Maya Stewart and Cheyenne Hall both on the show, speaking to them about their upcoming fight for the vacant featherweight women's championship that's going to be taking place as well. Real excited about that fight. Another fight I'm excited about is this Jake Halsey Brandon Doyle fight, and I think it's a well-matched fight. These guys are at the same place in their career. They're both coming off a loss and looking to get that win. So it's going to make for a very exciting fight. And both these guys coming out of legit gyms, training hard. I think it's going to be an exciting first round in that fight. Also, Dorian Stovall, Todd Box looking to get their first win on Saturday night. Taylor Meister and Eli Hawkins. That's going to be another good one. Another one that you might want to keep your eye out for, I haven't had much of a chance to talk about this fight, but I think it's going to be a very exciting fight, is Malon Ray is going to be taking on Dylan Rink. And I hope I didn't murder you guys' names there. But I also think that that's a very well-matched fight in the heavyweight division. Big guys are heavy hitters. So I'm also really excited about that fight as well. I was speaking to Dylan Budka last week here on the podcast. Very exciting guy, Dylan Budka. He's a real character, and he's been impressive thus far. He's taken on a vet in William Connor, who is no slouch. So that's going to be a great fight as well. This fight is, as far as I know, the show is sold out. I don't believe there's any tickets available. You can check online at cincyfights.com and see, but I do believe that we are now sold out. So you'll have to check it out on pay-per-view on Combat Sports Now. It's going to be an exciting broadcast. I'm going to be on there with Nathan Fitch, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt out of Son of Siam. So make sure you check out the broadcast. It's going to be at 7:30 p.m. on Combat Sports Now. I'm going to be back in about 24 hours with another interview, guys. I want to thank you guys for all of the support. And until next time, guys, thank you.